internet, welcome to Amanda Theory. It's not really, see, it's what, hello internet. How does my pet sound? Oh Jesus, I should have done more research. It's gotta have been like several months since I've seen a map hat, since I've seen a game theory video. I guess, oh, I saw him in the FNAF movie. But yes, hello, it's me, Matt Pat. You can tell because I'm a brunette. Matt Pat has brown hair. Does Matt Pat have green eyes? I don't think Matt Pat has green eyes, but my eyes are game theory green. Staring into your soul, people with green eyes be like... I don't know, I just felt like fucking around. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone? How is everyone? Today, I'm here to talk to you about the lore. The Five Nights at Freddy's lore. In fact, no, I'm kidding. It's not about Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I wish it was about Five Nights at Freddy's lore. That'd probably be better SEO, actually. Shit, should I just tell you guys Five Nights at Freddy's lore even though I don't know it? Stop saying L stream. Stop it. Stop. Please, I'm trying to talk about my lore video, which I worked very hard on. I was so much work. So today, I'm gonna give you some behind the scenes, a little bit of a breakdown, and we're going to talk about how I made, or how to make a VTuber lore video, or at least how I did it with some help. There's a little picture of me there just because this, here, there's a little picture of me there just because this slide was ugly, but it's all black and green. It's kind of... L stands for lore. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that the L stood for lore. I thought it was like an L. /J! Mods, can we ban him? Mods, can we ban the nation of Wales? Thank you. Anyway, this is how I made my lore video. And then I will talk to you guys some more about the lore. Now, I do want to tell you guys real quickly that I'm going to be talking some in this stream about, like, mental health stuff, Menhera stuff, a little bit, and there will be some cartoon blood. It's not realistic. I'm not that good at drawing, but there will be some images of violence and self-harm. If you've seen the lore video, it's nothing that's not in the lore video, but it's there, so be aware if you don't want to see that. Now, without further ado, I really just want to take you guys through the process of how I made my lore video, and then we'll get into some breakdown. So, step 1 is to make a mood board, collect inspiration, really decide what you're going for. So these were some of my inspirations in the lore video. Most of these are more related to the story than like the visual style, but I was really inspired by like old web forums, creepypasta. I was inspired by Needy Girl Overdose. I was also inspired by Megami Tensei, unfortunately. I really liked this idea that you could like summon a demon into your computer. I thought it was excellent. I'm like, oh my god, this is the modern day demon summoning. The demon will enter your computer and kill you. So yeah, those are just some of the inspirations. I really like to collect mood boards and images and stuff before I start any big project. That's just me. I don't think this is like a necessary step. I also, you see down here, are some of the lore videos I referenced. I referenced some of the Niji Sanji and also AN Project lore videos and Vocaloid MVs. And I think that this is a really good thing to do if you're making a project in a format you're not extremely familiar with. Like, I've never made a VTuber lore video. I'd made like similar kind of animatic style videos, but I never made a VTuber lore video. So you want to do a lot of research and see what other people have done, how things are edited, how they tell their stories and stuff like that. I really took a lot of inspiration from these particular ones. Yeah, I just think it's really important to do your research and make sure that you know the vibe that you're going for before you start, because that will help you a lot with the process. And this is coming from someone who's a film student, unfortunately, and being as prepared as possible before you start production. If you do, it's called like pre-production. doing as much pre-production as possible is really helpful, because once you actually start working on the final product, things will run a lot smoother if you really nail down what you're going for and you do a lot of preparation. Unfortunately, a lot of filmmaking is just about thinking ahead, which it's not as fun. I know sometimes you want to jump right into animating or filming or doing whatever is the most fun part, but you really want to make sure that your ideas are really clear. So that's, I would say these next steps are also part of pre-production. So the next thing that I did after compiling this cringe inspo board was to write an outline. And I'm not going to read all this to you, but basically an outline is like bulleted lists of what's going to happen. It's sort of like a point-by-point story breakdown. And it's this one in particular was a super rough idea. If you read it, you can see right here, it says like, this part I really haven't nailed the specifics. Like some of this is super vague and not as it appears in the final version, but it's literally just a bulleted list of things that happen in your story. And you do this when you're writing screenplays, you do this when you're writing scripts, you do this when you're working on short films. You just make this big bulleted list, and I think only a few lines from this ever make it to the final production, if any at all. Some of these have, I think some of these lines may have appeared in the final version, but this was my super rough, ugly, bulleted outline. I wrote this right after, I would say actually these two steps can kind of be in reverse order, or you work on them at the same time. I think what happened was I kind of had the idea, I wrote like the first bullet point, and then I went back and I collected some inspiration, then I thought about it some more, then I did some more research, watching some more videos, and then I added more to the outline. So you just go back and forth until you have at least a first draft of what you want the story to actually contain. And next step is the script. So if you are more talented than me, you could write your own script. If you are like me and not a good writer, you can get Owen to write your script. Not Owen specifically, but I mean, maybe Owen specifically, shit. But someone you know could help you write the script. You know, filmmaking is very rarely a one-person job. But in this specific instance, and I have written scripts before, they're just bad, okay? In this specific instance, my very good friend Owen actually took the bulleted points, took a bunch of my unhinged rambling and my mood board, and created a 4-page script. These are 2 pages of it. And this is, I'm sure you guys know what a script is. This contains the actual lines that were in the final video. In this case, these are the lines that appeared on the bottom of the screen, the subtitles, and also the voice lines that were read aloud also by Owen, who voice acted in my lore video as well. And also plenty of lines that weren't. I feel really bad. So this is my Owen shout out. Owen wrote a very excellent 4-page script, and I was not able to use all of his writing just because the lore video would have taken me like 7 months to animate and draw all the content that he wrote. So yeah, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to use everything. I wish I could, but I am one mortal woman and I had a deadline of the re-debut, so I could not animate all of Owen's scripts. But Owen did an incredible job taking my absolutely unhinged, stupid bullet points and making a 4-page script that was actually workable. Oh, sorry, let me take a sip of water. I just ate some sardines before this stream and they're like really salty. They made me dehydrated. Oh, stream. Yeah, it's a lore stream. Yeah, so there's a lot of really good stuff in this script that I was not able to utilize, but maybe it'll see the light of day someday. You never know. Okay, this next step, these are all the pictures I could compile. These are my storyboards. I drew these storyboards on actual paper, which is why, oh my god, you can see like the outline of my phone for me taking this picture. These are incredibly ugly storyboards. There are much better storyboard artists out there than me. This is about half of the storyboards. The other half, I like could not get a clean picture of them. They were on this like crinkly, crunkly ass piece of paper, and I just could not get a picture that looked visible. But you can see they're numbered. This is like, I think about 20 storyboards here, and they go along with the script. So what I did was I printed out the script and selected what lines I was actually going to use, and then I started drawing these storyboards. Storyboarding is really, really, really important. I think it's kind of underrated. People try to jump right into whatever film they're working on. Even in live action film, it doesn't have to be like an animated project without storyboards, and then realize they don't know what anything's supposed to look like. This has happened to me loads of times as a film student who draws. Some amateur director will be trying to shoot his film and then realize his producer says he can't shoot something without storyboards, and then he's supposed to be shooting that day and all his actors are going to be on set and he doesn't have any storyboards, and then he'll text me and be like, Amanda, can you draw me storyboards this week? And I'll be like, what the fuck? But then I will do it anyway because I'm nice. But I'm just saying, if you're an aspiring filmmaker of any kind, don't overlook storyboards. Even if you think you don't need them, it will really, really make your shooting process go smoothly if you're doing live action film or your animating process. Just even if you're not good at drawing, like your storyboards can look like this. Like I've seen storyboards that just look like this and they just write like zoom. And like that's the storyboard. Sometimes that's all you need. Your storyboards do not have to look nice. Obviously, these are very ugly. These are extremely ugly storyboards, but this is the reality of what they looked like. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is my favorite one. I included some comparisons because I think they're hilarious. I love to see that kind of stuff. This was the storyboard for this shot. This is what it looked like. Like they can be that. Oh, sorry, I keep scrolling. They can be that minimal, that simple. You can see this one. Here's another comparison that I added just to let you guys see. This was like an alternate draft that had a lot more on-screen text. I ended up not including a lot of on-screen text because at the time I wasn't sure if I would have someone doing voice acting in my lore video, or if it would be better just with all the emojis, or if it would be better to have on-screen text. And in the end, Owen ended up doing some voice acting. You can see I take some notes. Like you can see where I will write what motion needs to be added. So this will say like this zooms in on the chat box. This, I was gonna animate the hand, but then I didn't. This says like there's an animated light in the eyes. So yeah, you can also see some storyboards that didn't make it. There's like a blood splatter one here that I didn't end up doing in the final one. Honest to God, I don't even know what this one is. What the fuck are these two drawings of? I can't even tell. I must have used them at some point. I don't know. Like this one just looks like scribbles. I don't know. If you'd like to zoom in on some very ugly drawings that I did, these are what my storyboards often look like. They're very ugly, they're very first draft, but that doesn't matter because the next step, we're finally exiting our pre-production era, is to do 1 million drawings. These are a compilation of some of my favorite final drawings that ended up in the video. And I've got some tips for this one. First of all, I do all of these in a big Photoshop file. And the reason I do that is just so I don't have to like organize a million files, and also because I edit with Premiere Pro. So Photoshop and Premiere Pro integrate really well with each other, so you can directly transfer things layer by layer. Oh, hi Carrie, how you doing? So you can directly transfer your drawings layer by layer into Premiere Pro. So like in a lot of these, the red is on a separate layer because the red is a light coming from the computer, so then I can add like a light effect to it in Premiere Pro, and you can just tell Premiere to make everything into layers in your timeline. So here are some tips. I used a limited color palette and this sketchy style, so you can see that like there's all these visible strokes. It's really sketchy. A lot of these kind of look like first drafts, but I decided to just run with that style, and then also the black and white. So there's actually only really only 4 colors in the video, except for 1 or 2 frames that have full color. It's this dark gray, then a shadow tone. You just have this gray background, which is like a neutral gray. You have a dark gray shadow tone. You have a highlight, and then I just have red as a pop of color. So that's really all you need. I would recommend, if you're trying to do a project like this on your own, to not try to fully color every illustration, especially if you're on a deadline. looks very, I think it has a striking look. I think it's nice and dramatic. So yeah, and then you can think about things thematically. So like here, obviously, the red represents like a demonic presence in the story, but also if you've read up on color theory or whatever, it can represent like danger, alarm. It's also a really vibrant red. I think it's pretty eye-catching. I think these all came out looking really nice. You can also see some cameos here. I drew all of this, all the stuff in my room. There's a Squishmallow, there's a Cinema Roll, there's a Morgana from Persona 5. I've got some figures on the shelf, so if you guys want to go look at the lore video, you can see all the little cameos I added. Yeah, so that's basically it. I also used some 3D models to reference these. I don't love to do that all the time, but I did use them for some. And then here's a big tip if you're making a video like this. Separate all your layers for editing because it's going to be really annoying. So make sure to separate your colors, separate any part that needs to move. You want that to be in its own layer. So a good example is like there's this scene where the horn like appears on my head and then sparkles appear. All of those have to be their own layer, or else you're going to be like warp deforming stuff and it's going to be a pain in the butt. Just make everything separate layers. Even if you end up with 100 layers, that's fine. Another really big tip. This is like my biggest tip. This is the #1 thing you're going to want to do, okay? Do not forget this. I'm going to use this one as an example, okay? You want to draw... That's really ugly, sorry. You want to draw outside of the frame that's going to be visible. So you can see in the final lore video, really only this much of this drawing was visible. And then it zooms in, right? And in film school, a zoom in is represented like this with these arrows on the corners. So you want to draw more than is going to be visible in the final product. Even if you don't think you need it, it'll give you a lot more freedom. A lot of these, you really only see this much of the frame in the final video. And that gives you the freedom to zoom, to pan, to add like rotation. Because if there's nothing outside the frame, you can't zoom in at all. And if you're making a project like this that's animatic style, and it doesn't have much real animation, adding zooms and pans and twists is the best way and the easiest way to add a lot of motion to the scene. You know? I need a bit more water, sorry. And you don't have to animate anything. You don't have to draw anything. You just have to add a zoom. And sometimes that's all it takes. It's simple but effective. So when you're in the drawing phase of drawing 1 quadrillion drawings, draw outside the frame that exists in your storyboard. And you can see here, you can see the chair in this drawing. I don't even think you can see it in the final video. You can see like a shelf here. You want to draw what's beyond the frame. It's really helpful. It might seem like a pain to draw more than you think you have to, but it will give you a lot more freedom in the editing process. So that's my biggest tip. If you take anything away from this, please draw outside the frame. All right, the next step. This was the most time consuming for me, honestly, even more than the drawing, is editing motion and sound. So here is, dun 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 dun, it's a little behind the scenes footage. Here is the timeline for my lore video. And as you can see, it has many layers. It has a lot of layers up and down. So this is Premiere Pro. Unfortunately, I am being held hostage by the Adobe suite. And I do use Premiere. I don't know if it's the best editing software, but it's the only editing software I know how to use. So here is a little breakdown of all of the layers in my lore video. So for visual layers, the first thing we have is a border. So you guys might notice on my final lore video, there is a border animated around the edge the whole entire time. The border is a really nice little life hack you can use to add motion to otherwise static images. So even when absolutely nothing is happening on screen, there's that moves, there's still some motion, and it's really easy. You just draw 2 frames and then alternate back and forth. So I actually think it's not in this screenshot. Shit, this screenshot might be from a version before the border, but there's the first layer is a border, then there's subtitles and text. So my lore video had a lot of subtitles and also on-screen text, which is on top of most of the other footage. Then it has effects and animation, which is mostly lighting related stuff. Like I add a flicker and glow to a lot of the computer lights, as well as some just like gradient kind of fade. Like sometimes you can just add a vignette filter to your footage and it will just add like a nice little ring around. So there's some effects and animations that go on top of the drawings. Then are the actual drawings themselves, which can sometimes be, I think the most complicated one is like 3 or 4 layers. And so that's gonna be all your actual animation. And then the background, which is, there's just a standard, there's a gray background so that everything has a uniform color. So that's all the layers that were on the top of the timeline. Then on the bottom was sound. Now, a thing with me is that I am not a sound designer, I'm not a musician, I'm not a voice actor, I'm not a sound person. Whenever I do video projects, sound is always the last thing I add, so I apologize if the sound mixing wasn't excellent on my lore video. I did do it myself, and it's not my area of expertise, but I tried my best. So there's a whole lot of sound effects in it, actually. There's AOL message effects, which I really wanted to use. Those are authentic AOL effects to represent the framing device I have of this instant messenger. There's a lot of ambient computer sound. There's 2 different music tracks. There's a music track, and you can see the music track cut here. There's like this kind of spooky, moody music track for most of the video, and then the back half has this like funny, kind of goofy music to kind of bring a lot of energy to the scene. Then there's also voice acting provided by the excellent Owen, who we have spoken about previously. He did an amazing job, and then I edited his vocals myself. I basically just pitched them down and added a little bit of reverb to make them sound like a demon. I just followed, like, I literally just Googled, like, demon voice tutorial Premiere Pro, and then followed that. So shout out to whoever made that tutorial video. It was helpful. And then there's also some magic sound effects for the very back half, for the transformation sequence. And those are, I think they're actually ripped from Sailor Moon. I think they're Sailor Moon sound effects. It's like a magical girl transformation was the vibe I was trying to evoke. This is Premiere Pro. And Premiere Pro is the only editing software I use. I didn't touch like Audacity or anything like that. I did all the sound editing in Premiere. So it's all of that. I don't have much more to say about the editing. I just want to tell you that zooms, I said this previously, but like zooms, pans, like any motion you can add with keyframing where you're just moving the image on screen around is your friend. To add a lot of motion, really simple. It's like 2 clicks, you just add a keyframe, move it over, add another keyframe, and bada bing bada boom, you've got like a pan. The only more intense effect I used, other than just adding some filters and keyframing stuff to move around, was this frame, which has like a lens distort at the edges to give it the anime character about to go insane shot. This was the only frame that had any kind of more exciting effect than just some lighting or some keyframes. This one has a little bit of distortion, and that's it. You really don't need like master powerful editing special effects to make a video like this, you know? It's really just zooms, pans, stuff like that. So once you understand keyframes, you are good to go. Pretty much. So now, allow me to get to the MatPat theory, and let's talk a little bit about the plot and themes of my lore. I am gonna give you guys a big Menhera warning. I'm a little bit messed up, and I really, it was really important to me, right, that this lore video reflect why I stream. I think that's the main thing that a lore video is going for, is why your VTuber, streams. And for a lot of people, that is like some kind of in-universe situation where like I stream to spread the words of the gods, or I stream to recover my lost memories, or whatever. Like there's some reason that's in universe. I wanted my lore to really reflect the reason I stream in real life, just in a fantastical way. Menhera, it's like mental illness. So, yeah. I wanted it to be real, and I believe in that so strongly whenever I make art, even if it is something like a lore video for a VTuber. I want it to be real. I want it to say something about me, about the world, and I know that sounds very hoity-toity and very pretentious, and very art student, which I am, but I wanted my lore video to be about something, and I want it to be about why I stream, and why I stream is a deep and complicated issue. I do it because it's fun, but I also do it because I'm messed up in the head. I do it because and I've talked about this before, I do it because I want someone to talk to, I want someone to listen to me, I want to do something that I care about, I want to do something that I feel like matters. So the in-universe, in the Amandaverse version of my character is like an extreme situation of that, where the Amanda character is feeling like her life has no purpose and she won't be missed, and it would be better to do something crazy and dramatic that would get people talking, even if it would ultimately be the end, right? Like the character is feeling that way, but instead she decides to become a streamer to you know, it sounds stupid when I say it out loud, but that it is just a dramatization of real life with some added demons. So yeah, so basically the themes I was thinking about are like self-isolation and self-destructive attention seeking, especially online. Anyone who's been online with some Menhera girlies know that it's very easy to romanticize things that are really harmful, like self-harm, really dangerous living situations, stuff like hoarding and being like hikikomori and never going outside. And it is very easy for that to become romanticized. So I was kind of thinking about that. Also, online myths and rumors was a big theme I was thinking about. Obviously, this sort of inciting incident of my story is that the character encounters like a mysterious online forum that tells people to kill themselves. Like self-worth and self-harm, apathy, inherent silliness, this is a big one, and also just having healthy outlets. So like if I had to pick a theme of my lore video, like if we're pretending my lore video is like a real movie or a real book that has a message, the message is like, find a healthy outlet, find something that you want to do that matters, that other people can pay attention to, instead of being self-destructive and doing something really stupid just to get people to notice you. That is the ultimate theme. It doesn't have to be streaming, it doesn't have to be about the internet. The internet is just kind of what I'm into. But it's redirect that energy, and there is always something that's worth doing that makes it worthwhile to live, you know? I wanted it to be hopeful, you know? And that is the ultimate theme, and it's something I think about a lot, if I'm being honest with you, because it is really easy online to romanticize being very unhealthy and almost feel like it's not worth it to get better, because if you're fucked up in the head, people pay attention to you, but that's not a good way to live, you know? Sorry to get real, but I did want to be real with you guys. I wanted to be real in my lore video, as silly and stupid as it is. And for me, it's streaming, or that's one of the things, you know, I also do other stuff. But yeah, that's what it's about. Matt Pat is here for clickbait. Hello, Matt Pat. Don't we look exactly the same? Hello, internet. Welcome to Game Theory. But yeah, you know, that's the ultimate theme, all right? Don't romanticize your mental illness. The internet is fake. The internet is fake. Everyone being like, hee hee ha ha, I'm so depressed. That's not good. Find something healthy to do. And if you want attention on the internet, do something productive. Or at least something fun, you know? But I did want to touch on the, oh, ah! Or I'm in editing mode, what the fuck? I did want to touch on this one just real quick. The inherent silliness, I think everyone can take things so seriously, right? Which is why I wanted, like, ultimately, after the Amanda character in the story gets to this really dark point where she's willing to sacrifice her own life to, like, get attention, the demon character is, like, actually just fucking trolling, right? Because at the end of the day, life is silly, the internet is goofy, the world is hilarious, nothing's that deep, okay? Like, I just wanted to have this very dramatic tone shift where everything is silly because, you know what? Everyone, myself included, takes things too seriously. The world is inherently silly. And this is true. I believe that. Yeah, and you know, like, something I think about when I stream, not to get too self-important, but all I really want is to be a positive presence in someone's life. It doesn't have to make a big change, but if I can just, like, if I can make you laugh, if I can make you smile, if I can share something interesting with you for just a couple of hours a week, that's good. And if I wasn't around, I wouldn't be able to do that. Even if it's just once, you know? So, keep going, stay strong, I believe in you. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid and don't get too down in the darkness, alright? Yay! Alright, so, continuing the lore theory, what's next? What's next for the Amanda lore now that she has introduced our sprightly cast of characters? There's 2 of them right now in the Amandaverse. Will I make a comic? I really want to make a comic. It's like my dream to write a comic. A chapter 2 lore video. I've seen that happening a lot now. VTubers have like a chapter 2 of their lore, which is so cool. I love to see that. An ARG. Maybe. I have this elaborate unfiction idea. Don't worry about it. God, that would be so cool. Like, in my dream reality, I would love to, like, incorporate a lot of different mediums into some kind of big ARG that tells some kind of story. Like, streaming included. Like, I don't know how exactly this would work, but, like, maybe I post videos and I'm posting, like, text content somewhere else, and then I can incorporate lore into my streams. I think that would be very, very cool. But don't hold your breath for that. Don't hold your breath for any of these. Or the Amanda Cinematic Universe? Maybe I will make 10,000 shitty CGI movies, and you all have to watch them. Well, just let it be known. Maybe someday. Let it be known. I have ideas. I am cooking. The Amanda lore is not over. There is more of this story to tell. So, await with bated breath for more Amanda lore. See if you can piece it together, theorists. I'm gonna do, what did that guy do where he, like, sold merch that was part of an ARG? Oh my god, I'm gonna start selling merch with QR codes. Oh my god, that would be so awesome. I'm gonna make, like, an elaborate ARG that lasts 20 years and no one can ever solve it. You know what? I didn't put any other ideas I had on this list, but here, I will... Okay, other potential ideas. A visual novel? Maybe? Or like a game? Another, not gamer, game? Like a game, like a pixel art game? Who knows? It could be anything. It could be fucking anything. But the Amanda lore is not finished. I'm like Scott Cawthon. This will never end. I am truly a mastermind of storytelling. No, I'm not. No, I'm not, but I would love to continue doing more lore because I'm really happy with the story I ended up creating, and it has come to mean a lot to me. You know, I was working on this lore video over my winter break. It took me about a month in total to create, and during that time I was kind of in a dark place, right? Like things weren't so good, and working on this lore video was really helpful, and thinking about this story that I wanted to tell and thinking about why I wanted to tell it, you know? Not to get emo, but like, yeah. Okay, let's do a quick review and give some tips, and then I will answer questions. So, here are the steps that I took, which you may follow if you are also creating a lore video or similar project. Why am I brown? I'm Matte Pat. I told you. So step 1 is make an inspo board or a mood board. Step 2 is make an outline. Step 3 is make a script or get someone to write it for you. Step 4 is make a storyboard. Step 5 is do 1 million drawings. Step 6 is edit, and step 7 is add sound. Yippee! Okay. Here are my biggest tips for you that I will give as someone who has made one lore video, but also has made several other short film-esque projects. So here is my advice. Think about what you want your audience to understand about your VTuber and why. I think that the why is kind of overlooked in some VTuber lore. I think a lot of VTuber lore, the why is because it's cool, because it looks nice, because it fits my brand. And I don't think that that's wrong, but I think it's more impactful when you're creating a VTuber lore that has some real meat on its bones in terms of theming that can really tell your audience something about you. So I just think that that's really important to think about. Obviously, this isn't necessary. This is just a tip, a recommendation. If you want to make your lore video that you are 1,099,000,000 power, obliterating god, demon lord, priestess, queen, icon, go for it. There is nothing wrong with just tuning out and making your stupidest self-insert OC fanfiction, but that's not what I was going for. And then really observe the techniques in your inspirations. So like I said, when I was first looking at my inspo board, I looked at some VTuber lore videos and Vocaloid music videos, and once you look, you'll really start to notice how these kinds of videos, even at like, I was watching like Niji Sanji ones, even at like the highest level of budget and production quality, they're still using a lot of techniques like zooms, pans, effects, stuff like that that will really minimize the amount of work. Even if you watch like anime, like anime, once you pay attention, you'll start to notice how much of it is just a still shot that pans, or a still shot that zooms, or a shot from the back so they didn't have to animate the mouth talking. There are lots of strategies you can use to minimize the amount of work you have to do, okay? Work smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder. Use pan, zoom, slides, strobes, add a border, add motion however you can without drawing lots of extra frames. I believe in you. Work smarter, not harder. Please don't feel like you have to animate every single shot of your video, especially if you're making it in 1 month by yourself. Use all the editing tools. Use all the editing tools. It holds up, and people will not notice. People will not be like, wow, she just added a bunch of pans. This video is shitty. Do it. Go for it. Reuse backgrounds and drawings wherever you can. If you draw one really realistic, nice room, just go with it. Just, that's your room now, and then you can put it in the background. Divide things into layers so you can copy and paste them, okay? Cheat! Cheat! Use every trick in the book, because you know what? I'm telling you, the pros are doing it too. Even at the highest level of production, people are cutting corners. And that's just because shit has to get done. If people wouldn't cut corners, nothing would ever get made. It's true, and you shouldn't feel bad about it. Also, use art style to your advantage. This is why I was talking about doing this like sketchy style, using limited colors. If you stylize things properly, you can really cut down on time, because like these are my sketches. Basically, these are the first things that I draw. If I were to go in and do like clean line art, it would have taken me like 3 months to make this lore video, but because I decided to go with this sketchy art style and really embrace it, I was able to be a lot more efficient. And ask for help. If you can, if you have friends or acquaintances who you think might be able to help you in a project like this, it never hurts to ask. Be respectful, be polite. But if you're like me and you're struggling with writing your script, and you know a friend who's a writer, do not be afraid to ask them for their input or their help. You know, obviously, if they are a working professional, be willing to pay them. Be willing to pay them money. But it is okay to ask for help, ask for advice, look up tutorials. You can ask me right now. And yeah, so those are my biggest pieces of advice. Yeah, just ask for help, use the art style, reuse assets, and use, work smarter, not harder. That's all I'm saying. It's true in, like, every aspect of life. It's true in school, it's true in streaming, it's true in making art. If you're smart about it, you could probably make a lore video with, like, 2 drawings. And there's a lot of great resources out there on the internet about how to do video editing, how to do sound editing. There's free assets. You can use free 3D models to make your backgrounds. You can use plugins for editing. You can use effects presets. There is stuff out there that can help you. Don't feel like you just have to dive into the deep end of making animated videos on your own. You can do it. I believe in you. And also be kind and be patient with yourself. If your first video is not exactly how you want it to be, that's okay. So yeah, that's all I got. That's the end of my presentation. I'm down to answer a few questions. I don't know if there's much I didn't go over. But if anyone would like to ask anything about the lore video process, or if you would like to game theory what this more about the lore, feel free to ask. But that is all I have for my presentation. How do you guys feel about this, by the way? I'm trying this format where I keep my streams shorter, more like 45 minutes to an hour, so that the VOD can be really accessible. I was thinking like the one about character design, now the one about lore, so it's kind of more like a tutorial video that can stay up, so no one has to watch a 3-hour VOD. I don't know if you guys like this, but that's kind of an approach I was trying out. Rebecca has a question. Are you about to ask me something stupid? What? Please be serious. This is /serious, okay? Look how serious my lore is. Look, I fucking died. What? Can I show my lore videos to your parents? That depends on your parents. I wouldn't show mine to my parents because they will call the mental hospital. My parents don't like it when I make art about dying, it's true. Anyway, if there are no other questions, also, if you haven't seen my lore video, please go watch it. It's linked in the pinned comment. Please go watch it. I worked so hard on it. Please go watch it. And also share it with everyone. You want to ask about the hair color? I'm Matte Pat. I'm Matte Pat. That's why I'm brown and green. I'm Matte Pat. Shit, I thought that this joke would read if I made my hair brown, but I guess not. I'm Matte Pat. Aw, man. Let me turn it off. You guys don't like it. You guys suck. Transformation, go. Ah! There, are you guys happy now? I'm normal again. Whoa! Whoa! This color changing thing is so weird. What if I... This is some behind the scenes content. You guys can see how many layers my model is. All these little red things are their own layer. There's like 5 in my mouth. Entering my rave era. Oh shit, I forgot to hit OK. Damn it. Wait, I have to turn it off now. Yippee! Amanda when she's pink and purple. The best colors. Alright. If no one's got anything else to say to me, I will be turning in for the night. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this was informative, interesting, helpful, funny. I don't know what I was going for here, but I hope that this can be helpful to someone, that you can figure out if you would like to make a lore video. Hey, please watch my lore video. Thank you. I worked very hard on it. Please watch my lore video. Okay, darkness. Should we find a raid? Might not. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the mood to raid someone. I get self-conscious. I get self-conscious about raiding people. Let me see. Let's see. All right, I'll let me see if this will work. I'll do a redirect. Oh no, she has her raids turned off. All right. I've got a raid for you anyway. We'll raid someone else. Sorry, I'm always so unprepared. I always like take 10 hours at the end of my stream to set these up. One sec. This is so embarrassing. I'm so fucked. Okay. Have a good night. I will be posting a schedule tomorrow probably for next week, in which I will actually finish Slay the Princess. Sorry I didn't finish that game, but I'll see you all next week. Have a good Sunday. Have a good Sunday and Saturday night. Thank you for hanging out. Oh my god! There's a celebrity in the chat. There's a celebrity writer in the chat. Wow! Alright, everyone enjoy the raid. It's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. I'm gonna be watching with you guys because I've been wanting to watch this stream. Awesome! Darkness!